你今日退居幕後啊？
係啊，
但係可能依家阿 chef 隨時要走，你又隨時要粉墨登場喎。係啦，咦？我哋睇下，已經有朋友喺度啦。我哋想試下有冇聲啫，有聲，好嘢，終於有聲啦。咁我就可以叫 chef 過嚟啦。粉墨登場係嘛？好啊，大家好啊！今日咧，我哋咧就會做一個 live 啦。咁今日同之前唔同嘅地方咧，就係、我哋係繼續有 Chef Aaron 啦，好靚仔啦。但係佢今日退居幕後喎，你會見到佢手喎。咁我哋有更加靚仔嘅 Chef Olivier。Hi。
Hello, hello.
How are you, Chef?
Hola, Moguinho.
Your mic.
Mic. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, you can walk.
Yes, I can
This
walk.
time we
Nice.
prepare a.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
好嘢。
Thank you.
好。咁今日咧，我哋有 Chef Olivier喺度咧，當然就係要試啲高難度啲嘅嘢，或者係你做得比較優美啲嘅嘢。You don't know what I'm talking about.
唔知。
Just some bad words about
Yes,
you.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So maybe you can remove your mask.
Okay.
Because we are doing a demonstration. 我哋而家係做緊一個示範啦，就唔係做緊 production 嘅，咁所以大家唔需要擔心。我哋煮嘅嘢都係我哋自己食翻嘅啫。Okay. So which one you want to start first?
I think we can start with the duck, which is actually
the Challandias.
it's a Challandias. I really like the Challandias because it's a south-west duck, which is very popular in France.
I have little translation on your words, okay?
Yeah.
Although I know everyone knows English, actually.
Yes.
而家示範呢一個咧係法式嘅血鴨啊，我哋叫櫻桃鴨或者血鴨。咁櫻桃咧就係講緊佢嘅顏色同埋佢真係有少少櫻桃嘅味道嘅。咁啊，法國人食鴨就好著名啦，佢哋國寶咁樣啦。咁啊 ，Chef Olivier 咧頭先咧就話呢一隻鴨咧係由西南部嗰度嚟嘅喎。What is the name of the place?
So actually, it's Challon. The area is called Challon. So that's why we call it Challandias duck because basically it comes from this area. So it's west center France. They are very popular ducks because they are very juicy, very tender. The skin is quite thick. That's why we cut it a little bit.
Yes,
you go.
OK， 我只係想我同事你俾翻個你係啦，你開翻大個 mon 俾我啊！你喺嗰度開係啦。咁其他我哋啲同事幫我哋留意下喺個Facebook 啊嗰啲出唔出到嚟喎？要撳綠色嘅哦，你開咗綠色嗰粒掣嘅，開咗㗎啦，係可以撳呢個。OK，we're just checking the mon.
Sure.
So 頭先 chef 咧就話呢一隻鴨咧就嚟自Southwest part.
Yes, yeah, center west. I would say center west. Yes.
北西方嘅中間啦嚇。
So as you can see, when you buy the Challandias directly, you just have to put it in a very simple way, which is warming up the duck at 50 degrees. So I just opened the bag. So as you can see, you can see the skin is already there, and of course we just take out the juice because it's a very juicy duck. So now I'm gonna just simply seasoning a bit more, which is a bit of salt.
Seasoning.
Just a little bit. So
I think you are posing.
Yes.
You're posing. You're not doing the seasoning.
Yes, exactly.
佢要有呢個位㗎，俾佢哋審下啲鹽啊，係啦 ，OK.
Yes. So just a little bit of salt. Just a little bit of salt and pepper. So the good news is you don't need any fat. You can just put straight on the skin because the duck has fat here. Okay. So we're just gonna put it like this.
The fire is very.
So you can put it strong, quite strong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, quite strong.
可以大火少少嘅佢話。咁嗱頭先咧第一個過程咧就係喺呢一個慢煮袋裏邊咧要擺落去50度嗰度浸啦。嗱，大家見到個手指咧50度咧其實係辣手嘅，你唔會可以忍受好耐，但係其實係擺到落去嘅。咁擺落去20分鐘啦，20 minutes is it 20 minutes okay?
Yes, correct. Yeah, perfect.
即係鴨胸咧20分鐘就得㗎啦，50度你就浸住佢，其實浸耐少少都 OK， 只要個溫度唔好太熱。咁然之後咧，個火咧可以大少少，但係佢話有個 good news 就係你唔使落油，慳翻啲油。
So the idea of the duck is really to it's not easy to have a French duck breast at home available, and that's why our Chef Lab we create this line with I try to put myself in your shoes, which is how can we eat a nice duck, easy to warm, quite fast, with a very good cooking. So you don't have to be concerned about the cooking time because it's just heating for you. and you just have to reheat, and the duck is already cooked pink, which is quite nice already.
係咁啊 ，chef 就話其實咧都應該好難咧，大家屋企咧會有鴨胸可以準備到。咁所以咧，我哋呢一個慢煮嘅鴨胸咧，我哋其實喺個袋裏邊咧已經煮熟咗㗎啦。咁所以你要做嘅咧，其實就只不過係 warm 翻佢，我哋叫 water bath 呢個係好似沖涼咁，咁就 water bath 咗佢啦。然之後咧，你就輕輕咁樣煎一煎咧，其實佢本身已經熟晒㗎咯喎。咁所以你唔需要太過擔心你係整幾耐啊咁樣，佢一定係熟咗。咁當然我哋唔好嘥咗佢啦，要整到又滑又腍咁樣啦。
So as you can see, you can see it smoke a bit in the pan, so it's quite hot. The whole idea is actually to, as you can see here, to make the skin a bit of color and a bit crispy again. So that's why we just cook it on one side.
大家見到嗰個係個鴨嘅皮啊，咁阿 chef 咧就將有皮嗰邊咧擺落去。頭先我哋係冇落油噶嘛，咁因為呢個鴨咧嗰個皮咧本身係好厚，同埋有啲脂肪咧會走出嚟嘅。咁但係唔需要太擔心喎，呢個皮咧係比所有其他鴨都厚2倍，但係佢脂肪咧係少1半嘅。咁佢頭先咧就煮到哇正啊！佢就煮到個皮咧脆卜卜咁樣。我諗嗰個鏡頭下少少。
So now we're just gonna cut it.
睇到個金版係啦。
So as you can see, the duck has a small fillet. Here.
係。
And then we just gonna
切鴨咯，大家。我哋留意下阿 Chef Olivier 切落去咧，嗰把刀咧可以咁樣輕輕咁摁下咧，就知道係好腍好柔軟嘅。佢頭先切咗條邊出嚟先。我而家喺呢度側邊聽咧，係聽到佢嗰個皮嗰個聲嘅。How do you hear the duck sing?
So actually, you hear the noise to be a bit crispy. You know, it's kind of like you hear little crisps, which makes you realize that the duck actually is perfectly cooked. As you can see, we take out a little bit of fat before, so you just have the right amount of fat and skin just here. Okay. So the skin is crispy. You have a little bit of fat, not too much, just to make it moist. And then you have the duck, which is very tender.
哇，好腍嘅鴨胸嘅肉啦，咁咧就之前咧即係 chef 咧示範過一次俾我哋睇點樣煮呢一個鴨胸肉啦。咁佢就有一個好浪漫嘅説法，就係話叫做你煮佢嘅時候咧，你要 hear the duck sing， 就要聽佢唱歌。咁就點樣聽佢唱歌咧？其實就係當你煎嗰塊皮嘅時候咧，佢會有啲聲走出嚟，咁你就憑住嗰啲聲咧，就知道幾時咧佢煎香咗啦。我哋見到佢頭先咧就切咗條邊出嚟啦，咁原來咧佢又會再切翻去嘅喎。
So this is actually the small fillets. So this is the big fillet, and then you have the small fillet just underneath. So of course I do it here. It's the most tender parts of the duck normally, which is just here.
我哋有啲現場嘅試食員啊，歡迎你哋企前一格睇嘅，歡迎嘅。我哋有啲試食嘅朋友。喂 ，Aaron 啊，你做嗰陣時冇人企上嚟睇嘅。
So what you can do is, of course, again, you can just add a little bit of salt because when you cut the meats, it's more easy the salt to access. A little bit of pepper as well. And then you can try.
切咗之後先至再做。Will you introduce the apple jam?
Yes.
Which
so,
is your masterpiece as well.
Exactly. So actually in duck, when we use duck in France, we love always to pair actually the duck with the fruit. So actually we do a very nice apple jam here, which I highly suggest you to just put actually here with the duck. And every time you try actually a slice of duck, you can take a little bit of apple jam together.
Okay.
Yeah.
嗱呢一度咧個chef 咧就係其實you always have the duck going with the fruits jam, right?
Yeah, so actually in France the duck orange is very popular. Now we are in season of the figs. We have also some apple. You have pear. So basically it's always nice to pair actually a duck with the fruit. So here what we like in our chef lab is to pair it right now with the apple jam, which is quite nice. Has some sweetness and acidity, which balance pretty well with the fattening, the fat of the duck and the texture of the duck as well.
咁呢一個蘋果醬咧，就係阿 chef 建議咧，我哋配襯嘅。咁咧點解襯蘋果醬咧？就係當我哋食鴨嘅時候咧，你見到佢咧，哇好多汁啊！嗰啲鴨咧係 goes with 一啲生果嘅醬咧，係會特別好味嘅。 我哋自己 O Chef 咧製造咗一啲蘋果醬，咁呢個蘋果醬咧就擺喺雪櫃就得㗎啦。你愛嚟就算愛嚟做早餐、搽麵包都得嘅。咁咧特別咧就係愛嚟配襯呢一個鴨胸咧，就會非常之美味嘅。咁我見到虎視眈眈嘅試食員，好，我哋影張相跟住就可以係啦。
Good luck.
Good luck 啊。
Yes.
咁啊，好啦。So what's next?
So next is the pork chop. My favorite.
係啊！阿 Chef 咧好中意豬扒嘅，對豬扒有一股喜愛嘅。
Sure.
In front of the camera.
Yes, I'm
咁啊
sure.
Chef 對於豬扒好有研究嘅，各式各樣嘅豬扒。
Yes.
咁而家佢就煮一個豬扒俾我哋食啦。Aaron 你笑咩啊？好肥膩嘅，嗱呢一個唔肥膩嘅，呢個咧係我哋嘅豬安架。
So again, I try, I think the Chef Lab, what we try to do with all those meat actually is really to try to make your life easy. You're having a whole day of work, you want to go home, you don't have time to cook, a pork chop, or even actually, like a duck, it takes some time, you need to source. So the whole idea actually is to make your life easier. So as you can see here, the pork chop is quite beautiful by itself. It's already shrimped, so we take all the end cuts around already, and it's really ready to eat. So of course, what you can do is just again put it in the vacuum, just heat it for 50 degrees to warm up the meat, and then as you want, you can use olive oil, you can use butter. I will use olive oil, a little bit of garlic and rosemary, just to give some flavor to the pork. But it's quite simple. You can do it really the way you want. So for this, it's really open.
OK， 咁咧
Good luck.
Chef 用嘅
Yes.
Chef 用嘅字咧就特別唔同嘅。嗱，佢話咧呢一個咧浸佢50度呢一個過程咧叫 warm up 塊肉。咁其實咧，我哋見到呢個豬扒咧，頭先阿 Chef 攞起個豬扒咧，佢可能大家睇到佢有幾大塊啦嚇，但係咧未必留意到佢嘅厚度，係一塊好厚嘅豬扒嚟嘅。咁我哋就係即係根據咧呢個安架啦，即係一個豬嘅rack 啦，我哋就會跟住佢嘅骨切嘅。咁所以咧，我哋買入嚟嗰個豬咧係一個美國嘅豬肉啦，咁佢咧就係非常之肥厚嘅。咁啊，頭先 you just said you just use olive oil, so now you put butter.
No, so what I was saying is you can use olive oil, but I will use butter with garlic, thyme, and rosemary.
Okay.
So, but you can use olive oil, of course,
Okay.
if you want to have a lighter. I like to use butter with pork because it gives more flavors to the meat. Olive oil will fight more than really give some flavors around. So I suggest butter. I would say it's the French way. But I also understand the health conscious where you want something a bit lighter. Olive oil will be a good alternative as well. And actually, what we will do after is we will add on the top actually our butter, garlic and parsley.
Okay.
So I think this match pretty well with the pork flavors.
Okay.
So as you can
see, how about the heat?
So heat has to be medium heat first because you want to melt the butter. You have to understand pork is white meat, so it's a lean pork which doesn't have too much fat on it. So that's why we can go a little bit, I would say, less stronger than the duck, where we don't want to dry the meat. So as you can see here, I put the butter is singing as the duck, and then we just add a little bit of, as you can see here, rosemary, a little bit of thyme, and a little bit of garlic. So those ones gonna just give a little bit of flavors to the meat. Salt and pepper as well.
好唔好食啊？鴨胸冇晒咯，我見到好唔好食啊？好味啊！咁啊，頭先 Chef 咧就講咗咧話，其實咧嗱個油咧你可以揀 olive oil 一個比較可能健康啲嘅選擇啦。咁但係當然咧 French way 咧就係用牛油嘅。咁初去用牛油嘅時候咧，就可以大少少火，因為個目的係溶咗個牛油。但係我見佢咧去到呢個過程咧，嗱佢唔係將嗰個豬扒反嚟反去嘅喎，佢係用嗰啲牛油溶咗嘅牛油咧淋落去嘅。
So you can see here, so we have a little bit of butter, a little bit of garlic. As you can smell, you smell the rosemary and the thyme. It's quite good for the pork. It gives some flavors. And you see this brownish color come from the butter, which actually start to caramelize with the pork.
哇！
Yeah, so this
佢啲字係好鬼靚嘅。佢話你見到咧，而家咧佢用呢個方法啦喺度咁樣煮啦嚇，然之後反嚟反去啦。呢個牛油咧就會俾到個金黃色嘅豬扒，而個豬扒咧本身係粉紅色㗎，一陣間切開你會見到傳説中嘅粉紅色肉啦。咁佢就話呢個豬扒咧嗰個顏色咧就係牛油俾佢㗎啦。咁另外就係佢一路都會擺一啲百里香同埋呢一個rosemary 係咩啊 ？rosemary 啊
，Yeah, and thyme
係啦，擺埋上去。咁兩嚿加力咧就喺側邊。咁佢又有 佢又係話咧，你有聽到個豬扒喺度唱歌啦，嗰個就係個油嗰個啵啵聲。咁我哋做呢個慢煮肉嘅目的咧，就係 make everyone's life easy，right?
Yeah, exactly.
即係令到你生活輕鬆啲、舒適啲。
You know, I think everyone is working hard, and I think it's nice to have good food at home, and you don't need too much time. And actually, those are shortcuts where you just have to actually taking out from the freezer your pork. You just reheat it for 50 degrees when you take a shower or when you are busy, whatever. And then you can come just pan it, and that's very easy. And you don't have to worry about the cooking, you know, because the cooking is moist already.
Because the cooking was done by you.
Exactly. So as
因為個 cooking 已經係阿 chef 煮咗㗎啦，所以你唔需要擔心煮食。
So you see,
好靚喎。
you can see this brownish texture which come actually from the butter.
唔好喐個 mon 啦，唔好喐，係啦。
So I will cut.
睇佢切咯喎，傳說中嘅粉紅色豬扒可遇不可求啊 ！The pink pork。
Yes.
通常咧，我哋煮咁大塊豬扒咧，好有難度嘅喺屋企。
So we're gonna cut the bone here. Okay.
第一個將個bone切咗出嚟先。I just showed this one, the color of the pork.
Yes.
嗱，大家睇下呢個豬扒，我唔知係咪可能近呢個鏡頭，大家睇到個顏色，就係咧有少少粉紅色嘅。咁咧平時咧我哋喺屋企煮豬扒咧，如果去到咁厚咧，嗰個難度係非常之高嘅。咁但係我哋可以一陣間可以俾大家試下我哋呢個豬扒咧，就係非常之 tender， 得唔得啊？冇咁細嘅 ，Why mine is so small?
Smaller for you, ma. On diet, ma.
How do you know?
I always know.
我減肥要食少啲啊，切好細嚿俾我。喂，呢個豬扒咧，其實咧真係除咗個豬扒嘅味道，大家應該要試下咧。我頭先食嗰嚿咧係近住啲骨咧，直情係有啲骨膠原咁樣嘅感覺嘅。
So you have two options now. So what I like to do is, for example, the pork is nicely cut and cooked, as you can see. You can add a little bit of seasoning, just like that. Because inside the meat, you can always add a little bit of salt. And now what I will do is I will add a little bit of butter, which is parsley and butter.
佢又再加咗啲 chef do it here.
Yeah, sorry.
佢又再加咗啲另外一啲 butter 上個面嗰度喎。咁呢個 butter 咧，見到有啲綠色咧，就係我哋自己做嘅 parsley， 仲有咩啊 ？butter
parsley, garlic
and garlic.
Yes, and garlic.
同埋蒜蓉啊，蒜蓉香草牛油啊。
So you can see I strewn a little bit everywhere.
其實咧，我哋咧自己煮豬扒嘅話咧，成日都驚佢唔熟嘅，咁所以咧就會傾向煮好耐。煮好耐之後咧，佢就變咗一塊柴啦。咁但係咧，今次咧喺呢一度咧，你見到啲豬扒咧，其實係
So here we are.
好 tender 嘅。影張相先。咁啊，介紹呢一個parsley butter 啦，咁啊，我哋都喺我哋嘅 Ocean Hut 嗰度有得賣嘅，係我哋嘅調味品之一嚟嘅。咁如果你買翻屋企咧，你可以隨時雪落雪櫃嗰度，用嘅時候先至切出嚟。Okay, well done. Next.
Yep. So for the legs, I will put in the oven. So you have the 180.
咦？似乎佢有啲花神喎 ，not over there?
No. Yeah, over there.
Okay. Next.
Yeah, next.
下一個雞髀。你知道 French 呢個係法國雞髀定係本地雞髀嚟㗎
The chicken.
美國雞髀 ，OK.
American.
Yeah,
American.
How do you know?
I know.
You have a.
Oh yeah. Okay. Where here?
Yeah.
Okay. 唔好意思。
呢度。
Yep.
OK，咁啊係一個美國嘅無激素雞髀啦。咁啊係啦，我哋見到 chef 咧好珍惜嗰啲汁嘅。佢嗰啲汁咧其實就係肉汁啊，因為我哋 slow cook 煮出嚟嘅肉汁咧就係非常之入味嘅。
So now we have the chicken legs. So chicken legs for me are very specific for chicken legs because I like the chicken legs to be a little bit crispy outside and moist inside. So I'm quite popular for my roast chicken. So what I'm trying to do here is cook the legs for you, which is totally cooked already. Beautiful here, as you can see. And actually, it's going to be the most simple of those three that I showed today because you're going to have almost nothing to do, which is pretty much like put up on the bag of the chicken already heat. What you can do is put a little bit of olive oil. Just a little bit of olive oil here on top.
都強調咧，大家乜都唔使做， 只要將佢浸住沖涼。
A little bit of salt and pepper. So actually, I did this version with the olive oil, but again, I can go back to the same concept with the pork. We could also do it with garlic, thyme, rosemary, and butter. But this time, I will do it with olive oil.
佢今次就示範用 olive oil 啦，但係當然啦 ，olive oil 同埋牛油咧係一個 option 嚟嘅，大家可以兩邊選擇嘅。咁佢咧就咦今次好得意喎，佢淋咗啲olive oil 落去個雞髀度先喎。
So as you can see, so the legs, a little bit of rosemary, thyme, and olive oil on top. And actually, the only things you have to do, you see the pan is not warm, and then I'm just gonna put it in the oven. Yes.
哦，真係估佢唔到喎，佢次次都有新花神喎。唔知係啊，你唔知我講咩㗎啦。咁 OK, put in the oven， 擺咗落焗爐。
Let's go to maybe a soup in the time that.
But what is the temperature and how long?
So I think 180 degrees for let's say 6-7 minutes is perfect. So we're gonna just heat it now, and we're gonna switch, and we'll show you the result later.
都係第一次試，佢180度，大概咧就係6至7分鐘，你可以攞佢出嚟睇下佢咩樣。咁就 and then we go to next.
Exactly.
Next. What's next?
What is next?
Okay. What is next? Okay.
The whole chicken. Yeah.
Okay. 呢個要 introduce.
Yeah.
Because we okay. 咁咧，我哋之前咧就提過有一隻咧好矜貴嘅法國雞，就叫布雷斯雞，就係叫 Bresse chicken.
So actually,
What's special?
Okay, so I will say the Rolls Royce of the chicken in France, as we all know, is actually the Bresse chicken. So this is a beautiful Bresse chicken, which is about 1.2-1.4 kg. So what I like to do with those chicken is poach them, because they're very popular to get poached. It's a very white meat, very thin skin. So it's a little bit like a pot-au-feu style, but with chicken, which means actually we're having here a chicken stock. And I just want to show you that, for example, what we're gonna do is you can buy the chicken stock already available in Au Chef Lab. What you do is you buy the chicken, and then you right away push it inside the broth. Okay. And you will cook it for around 30 minutes.
Oh,
yes, 30 minutes.
Okay. Give me some time to explain this
chicken. Yes.
嗱呢一隻咧就係法國嘅布雷斯雞啦，就叫 Bresse chicken 啦。頭先阿 Chef 咧就話佢係雞之中嘅勞斯萊斯啊 ，Rolls Royce 係咪
？Yes.
It's top
yes.
quality 係啦。咁就其實咧點解咧佢係一個即係法國直情當佢國寶級嘅雞咧？因為好得意咧，呢隻雞咧係紅白藍三色嘅。紅色就係佢個冠啦，嗰個身咧就係白色啦，佢哋個力個腳咧就係深藍色嘅，所以咧就係完全係法國旗嘅顏色。咁咧就呢一隻雞咧就1.2至1.4 kg 啦，就係阿 Chef 咧揀嘅。其實呢隻雞咧係矜貴到咧，每一隻嘅腳嗰度咧有佢自己一個環同埋有個 number， 證明俾你睇佢係法國嘅布雷斯嘅出品。咁每一年咧係限量嘅。咁呢一隻雞咧就1.2至1.4 kilo 嘅雞啦嚇，即係3磅到啦，又真係唔係好大嘅喎，好似頭先佢咁。咁佢就話咧，如果買咗一隻雞翻去而係完全未煮過嘅咧，咁咧建議咧就可以用一個雞湯去煮佢嘅。咁咧就係用大火。Is it the high heat for 1.5 hours?
No, so I think it's about 60-70 degrees. So because we don't want to overcook the chicken, so for example, what we do is we boil the chicken at the beginning, and then we let cook about 70 degrees, 80 degrees.
Okay.
Why? Because of course the legs and the breast have to be cooked, and normally what we always have this dilemma saying we cannot cook too much the breast, otherwise the legs are not going to be cooked, or if the breast is too much cooked, then the legs is not cooked enough. So that's why the idea of this is to cook it very slowly. And as you can see, it was boiling, and now we just let it cook inside very slowly.
Okay, but the soup level, is it a must to just cover the chicken?
It's cover the chicken. Has to be covered the chicken.
咁你嗰個湯咧，你個雞湯咧，你可以你當然可以自己搞啦，但係你最好同我哋買啦，我哋本身有雞湯。咁咧嗰個雞湯嘅 level 咧，就係要浸住嗰個雞咁樣嘅。咁咧你就將個雞腳咧、雞腳嗰啲擺喺下底，因為咧雞髀咧就係要耐啲熟，咁個雞胸咧就係驚耐咗咧係會驚老嘅。咁佢咧就話佢而家係咧將嗰個湯煲滾咗之後咧，就 keep 住佢60度，然之後咧就 how long 60 degree for how long?
I would say 70 degrees for half hour.
70度半個鐘，即管試下。佢呢個70度半個鐘，佢而家懟咗入焗爐喎，佢係恆溫緊嗰隻雞湯。Is it
cooking.
We're now cooking.
Yeah, we're now cooking. But of course, for example, I mean, you can make it also simple. You can just use the induction or your stove. You don't have to put it in the oven. For example, it's easier to put it at 70 degrees in a steam oven, but not everyone has a steam oven at home. So that's why I suggest you to use actually just the heater.
Okay.
And you just make sure you don't boil it, because if you boil it, it will overcook the breasts and the legs will be nicely cooked. So which we don't want.
千祈唔好滾佢，用70度做幾多分鐘啊？我唔記得30 minutes 30分鐘30分鐘係。
I think 30 minutes first, because I think the idea is to see how the chicken goes, and because you know this is 1.2 kg, so I think overall the chicken will need actually 45 minutes. But I think you check first after a half hour, and then you see how the chicken goes. And then
you will stay with us and check, right?
Yes, exactly. Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
好，咁佢話咧嗱，其實咧 chef 咧，我哋 maybe 我哋咧成日咧都問 chef 咧，幾耐啊？幾多度啊？咁其實咧佢哋大量咧都係經驗同埋感覺嚟嘅。咁佢話譬如好似頭先咁啦，70度擺落去咧，佢話半個鐘會 check 一 check，但係其實佢感覺咧呢個1.2 kg 咧係需要45分鐘嘅。咁所以佢應該會同我哋 check 一次，睇下30分鐘之後會係點嘅樣嘅。So what are you doing now?
Actually, now I like to heat soup, which is actually my carrot ginger soup.
Oh.
So I quite like it.
呢個薑筍薑汁金筍湯啦嚇，咁咧阿 chef 咧係即係佢嘅新發明嚟嘅，係我哋呢一排嘅 winter menu 嘅新餸啦。咁咧就佢話佢而家要 reheat 佢喎，我唔知佢諗住點整，佢好蠱惑佢。
So as you can see, I just opened the pack, which is in the boiled water. So the soup is already hot, but I put it myself in a pan, because of course, if you want to make a beautiful dish, sometimes it's nice to see the texture. And some people will like it a bit more salty, a little bit more pepper. So you can always add it here the way that you want it. So I'm gonna try. I like the texture. So for me, the ginger gives enough pepper already, so it's perfect balance. You have a nice carrot flavors first, then the ginger is taking over, and then you have the carrot finishing. So for me, I mean, again, you can eat it right away like this. It's already perfectly seasoning. I really like the texture because, as you can see, for me, a vegetable soup, the way we do it in our chef lab, we're always using the vegetable, but we try also to make the I would say the soup not too thick and not too liquid. So this is actually the white consistency, which is just smooth, which is easy to eat, and nice seasoning as well. So I was checking the seasoning, but it's pretty good. I think there's no pepper to add because the ginger brings already the pepper flavor, and just the salt as well.
Chef 咧話咧，其實咧湯咧對佢嚟講咧，其實我哋唔係淨係睇佢味道啦、鹹甜啦，佢嗰個濃度啊，即係究竟佢有幾結或者幾稀咧，呢一個 consistent 咧都係佢成日都要堅持嘅。所以咧，其實佢而家咧除咗係示範之外咧，佢成日就 check 緊我哋啲功課啊，即係睇我哋做得好唔好啊。咁佢話今次咧就其實薑汁咧本身係會帶起啲 pepper 嘅味道嘅，所以佢話呢一個咧佢都覺得唔再需要加啲 pepper 落去啦。
So I mean, I will give you the chef's secret, which is actually when you do the soup like this, you have two options. So I will say you have the French way, which is adding just a small piece of butter last minute, just to give a little butter feeling if you want. Or if you can do as well, for this one I will do it with olive oil, is adding a little bit of olive oil if you really want to. So this is just really if you like it, you don't have to do it, but you will see, you will have actually the little eyes of the olive oil on the top.
好似啲 bubbles 咁樣，好靚。咁啊，佢加咗啲olive oil 喺度啦。咁啲 olive oil 咧就會一點點咁樣，好似佢加得特別靚咁樣嘅，有一點點好似一隻眼仔咁樣嘅。咁咧就介紹下我哋呢個 olive oil 先。呢個 olive oil 咧就係阿 chef 用嘅，即係我哋喺專業廚房裏邊咧都唔會揀啲好大樽嘅嘢，因為我哋想樣嘢都新鮮。咁啊 chef 咧就佢自己好中意用呢一支 olive oil 嘅，咁啊特別香啦，特別無論係煮食啦或者係調味咧都非常之好嘅。咁呢個咧亦都喺我哋 Old Chef Lab 有得賣嘅喎，98蚊。咁啊，但係我哋而家介紹緊嗰個咧就係 chef 介紹緊咧，其實已經進入緊我哋聽日嘅HKTVmall 閃購嘅貨品啦。啱啱嗰個薑汁紅蘿蔔湯咧就將會係由55蚊賣到變咗40蚊嘅，大家真係要試下。
So now I purposely choose actually the potato leek. Because actually, as I mentioned you just before, I will do the little secret of the chef, which is a little twist if you want to. And I think it matched pretty well with the potato and the leek, which is just add a little bit of butter. So as you can see, the idea is not to add too much, just a small little spoon of the butter, which will smooth a little bit. Actually, it's already very smooth, but it will give a little additional fresh butter flavor, which is pretty good. And I think I like it. So the texture again is quite nice. It's very smooth. It's not too thick, not too liquid, which is not always easy to get.
So why is it good to put a leek to go with the potato?
I think for me, in French, actually is a French classic. We have it's called parmentier. So parmentier soup is actually a parmentier potato, but we like to add some leek because leek gives some onion flavor, which is quite nice and creates a nice balance. I would say potato will be good, but a little bit boring. And I think the fact you're adding the leek make it much more interesting.
OK， 咁咧嗱，我哋咧就係想做一個薯仔湯，咁我哋個薯仔湯當然係非常之好味啦。咁但係咧chef 咧就特別咧做咗一個 French classic 嘅方法，就係咧薯蓉大葱湯啊。咁佢哋加咗 leek， 咁 leek 咧就係一種葱嚟嘅，但係葱佢咧就係長形嘅，咁咧就法國人就好中意用 leek 我嚟煮嘢食嘅喎。咁佢就加咗呢一個leek 落去啦，咁大家可以試下，係非常之好味嘅個 leek 嗰個湯咧，係可以提升嗰個薯仔嘅味好多。佢話薯仔湯好 boring， 所以要落啲 leek 落去。
So as you can as you can
Oh.
see, the butter is still here. It's almost not melt. It's really you will see when you try it. It's give you a little bit of olive oil or butter flavor, and I quite like it, and that's why I like to put it really at the end, where the idea is not to melt it too much. And you can even see a little bit the eyes of the potato soup actually with the leek. So of course, no point to add it on the top. Yeah, and I think the seasoning is perfect already.
倒出嚟嘅時候非常之滑，你會以為我哋落咗好多 cream。Did we put cream to cook this one?
No, yeah. We put at the base. Yeah, we put some cream base, but we don't add it. Yes.
係，我哋有少少 cream 嘅，但係我哋唔係用個 cream 嚟去令到佢嗰個質個 texture 出嚟嘅，而係咧因為我哋 blend 咗啲薯仔啊。咁呢一個咧，即係 blend 咗啲薯仔之後咧，你就會見到係即係非常之滑啦。佢嗰個濃度咧，亦都係其實幾足夠你飲咗呢個湯之後咧，係飽飽地嘅。
So the tom yum
呢個係咩啊？冬陰功。
冬陰功。
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 係呢個係
French style， 法國 style。
係啦，嗱咁啊講下我哋個冬陰功先啦。我哋個冬陰功咧就係用泰北嘅 herbs 嚟做嘅。咁啊。但係咧，我哋就想 because you remember when we did this dish, we are trying to use the northern Thai herbs style, and then we want to add some French herbs, which remind you of your Asian taste when you were young.
Yes. So actually, and also what we do is why we call it French style because we're using cauliflower, we're using baby onion, which is quite French. And I thought, to doing a Thai soup with some French flavor would be quite interesting. So of course we keep the spirit of the soup, which is a little bit spicy, of course, a little bit of sourness as well. And I think I like the fact that the onion from France bring a little bit of sweetness to the soup because it helps to balance a bit. And this I will say is our French touch there.
OK， 咁咧就嗱，我哋其實最初做嘅時候咧，就喺度諗啊，我哋有啲泰北嘅 flavour 嘅冬陰功湯啦。咁但係 chef 咧，佢自己其實喺法國咧，佢細個嘅時候都好多越南同埋泰國嘅香料啊，好多嗰啲食物嘅，所以咧佢就加咗一啲法國嘅 herbs 啦，佢自己嘅配方啦，咁就用咗呢一個泰北嘅湯個底咧，就做咗呢一個湯啦。佢自己係非常之中意食嘅。咁我哋仲加咗咧一啲
So we have the mushroom, we have the chicken, we have we have the baby onion.
Baby onion 就係法式嘅珍珠洋葱啊，好靚㗎。
Yeah, and then we have as well, the cocoa milk inside to smooth a bit as well. Because it's a bit spicy, as you know. So for this, honestly, definitely I will not suggest you to put any butter or olive oil because I think the coconut milk inside gives already the smoothness. So there's no point to add anything.
嗱，咁咧你見到呢個湯咧，就我哋都有落椰奶嘅，但係唔係多嗰種嘅。咁我哋見到呢個細細粒嘅咧，我哋叫法式嘅珍珠洋葱，係好好味嘅。咁有雞肉啦、冬菇啦，同埋椰菜花嘅。咁啊，大家可以試下啦。嗱，如果咧比較我哋個泰式冬陰功湯咧，呢個法式冬陰功湯咧係比較冇咁辣嘅，咁啊亦都適合啲未必食到咁辣嘅朋友啦。咁同埋咧就。So
again, one more time, what I like is the texture. As you can see, it's quite smooth. Water, it's really liquid. The fact that we put the cocoa milk, we have like a smooth texture. The onions, gives a little bit of sweetness, which I like, and I think it's very interesting. So we go back to the chicken that we put in the oven for 5-6 minutes.
Okay.
And here we are. So very simple. You take out your chicken, you put a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of rosemary, thyme, garlic, or whatever spicy you want on top, or you just can leave it like this. And this is the chicken. So you can see the skin is a bit crispy. It's a nice color. We can take out the herbs, and then we can just eat it. So as well, what we can do is just cut it, as I can show you.
Chef 咧成日都強調咧，一用到去到呢個慢煮肉系列咧，就係話 very easy for you，very easy for you， 因為爛嗰啲部分係啦，爛嗰啲部分佢做咗啦已經。咁佢就嗱，而家切個雞髀俾大家睇下喎。我成日覺得切雞係好好睇。哦，佢就將佢切成2部分啫。哇，擺得好靚喎！有你啦。
So again, I always like to use the original flavor. So for example, if you don't have any sauce, what you can do is using a little bit the cooking from the olive oil and just add it on top like this.
Wow.
So give you some juice. You can see it's not only olive oil because the chicken has some flavor. And you take out the flavor from the chicken.
我哋落咗 olive oil 咧，跟住而家再出翻嚟就唔止 olive oil 啦，因為啲雞汁都出咗嚟。
So this from our chef lab, very simple. Chicken legs with aroma, garlic, thyme, olive oil. Here we are.
OK， 我就係想 show 咧，其實呢個雞髀咧係非常之柔軟嘅，即係見到啲叉篤落去咧係非常之腍，好正。咁咧就呢啲位置咧，其實咧好多人咧都即係少少紅色都唔想見到咧。其實咧唔需要太過擔心嘅，因為即係其實我哋即係 chef 咧就會好着重咧 just cook， 即係啱好。如果唔係咧，即係你少少紅色都見唔到嗰啲咧，就其實通常都係老咗噶啦。OK， 咁呢個雞髀咧點解要介紹俾大家咧？就係因為咧，我哋喺星期3咧，我哋嗰個都係星期2啊。我哋會特價。哦 ，OK， 咁聽日係星期2咧，我哋都係會喺我哋自己 O Chef 咧嗰度有特價嘅。嗰邊係 HKTVmall 喎，係咪嗰邊先係？有10樣啊？我哋呢度我哋自己。哦 ，OK，喺 HKTVmall 度，我哋都會將呢一個慢煮本地雞髀特價。你估特價幾多錢啦？特價40蚊咋？你哋真係要買啊！你真係要買啊！係啊，唔係講笑，你真係要買。我見你係咁喺度手，你真係要買，試下佢嗰種香味咧係呢個係美國雞嚟。咁跟住呢個高難度嘅 ，I think this is a bit challenge for us because we just cannot imagine how it would come out.
Yes.
The avocado soup 就係嗰個牛油果湯。
So,
do you like avocado?
Yeah, so I love avocado, and I thought, because we are quite specialized in soup in our chef lab, as you know, I think for me the idea of doing an avocado soup is something a bit unusual, where the idea was to try to do something a bit more green, more healthy. So I think avocado it's pretty good for that, as we know, is a very good fat. But I thought to doing a hot soup will be very interesting. So I think again you only have to heat it. The texture is already there. And of course, since you have sometimes avocado oil, or even actually, some olive oil, you can add it a little bit on the top as well. Yes.
我哋最初想做牛油果湯咧，其實真係一個挑戰嚟嘅，因為比較少人做啦，同埋牛油果本身幾難 handle 嘅，好容易壞啦咁樣。咁所以咧，我哋就即係揀咗好靚嘅牛油果啦。咁就你見到咧，一陣間咧留意下 chef 倒出嚟咧，佢嗰種綠色咧就 exactly 係牛油果裏邊嘅綠色嚟㗎。咁就我哋冇落任何嘅顏色啦，係啦。咁就好健康啦，即係留意健康嘅人咧，都會知道牛油果嗰種 fat 咧就係一種好有益嘅 fat。咁佢就會再落啲黑松露啊 black。
So I think we can use a little bit. We can make something a bit interesting. So just to show you that sometimes you don't need a lot. So I was mentioning about olive oil, about butter. So I think avocado match pretty well with black truffle. So I think we have some black truffle oil here. So to give an interesting flavor, I will just add a few drops on the top, and then it becomes quite interesting as well. Yes.
我要試啦。
Yes.
我未試過喎。咁嗱，呢個牛油果湯咧好靚啦 ，texture 咧就非常之滑啦。咁而 chef 咧就落咗啲黑松露油落去嘅。同時你可以影張相，跟住我想試下個味。 咁啊，黑松露油咧都值得介紹俾大家嘅。呢一個咧就係我哋即係專業廚房啦，甚至乎係 Chef Olivier 嗰個米芝蓮餐廳咧，我哋都會用到呢一個黑松露油同埋白松露油。細細樽當然唔平啦嚇，黑松露就380蚊，白松露就480蚊。但係你係可以用好耐好耐，而且咧佢因為盛載住呢個黑松露同埋白松露嘅油嘅本身嗰個油好靚啊，所以咧佢係嗰個味咧係真係特別清香嘅。嗱，大家咧，如果咧飲我哋呢個牛油果湯咧，你可能咧會發現咧，佢有少少苦味嘅。嗰個苦味咧就唔係一種壞嘅苦味，係我哋落咗一種叫 cumin 嘅 ，is it cumin？cumin
Yes, yeah, cumin 子。
小茴香係咪？小茴子係啦。咁佢個味道咧係有少少 like the Middle East、Indian。
Yes.
They like this cumin seed a lot.
Yes, quite. Yeah, North Africa, Marrakesh, Morocco, yeah, they like to use cumin, and I thought to put it in the avocado, it matched pretty well together.
呢個咧係有少少嘅苦味，嗰個係個 cumin seed 嘅味道嚟嘅，但係佢唔係一種變壞嘅苦味嚟嘅，所以咧就大家要即係你中意呢一種味咧，你可能就會好中意啦。咁如果你唔中意呢種味咧，可能會覺得咦幾得意喎咁，但係 anyway 咧佢就係好有呢一個營養價值嘅。
So the next recipe, it's still on the healthy side. So it's actually the chicken broth with concentrate with ginger and some mushroom. So this one I really like, especially in winter.
Do you know this one is our top seller now?
Yes.
係啊，我哋而家賣得最好嘅咧，本週啊，本兩週咧都係賣得最好咧，都係呢一個薑汁龍雞湯。咁咧就係其實一包飽飽滿滿嘅雞湯咧，係幫你煲好晒，你唔使買隻雞開始翻屋企慢慢熬啦。咁咧就係一個龍雞湯啦。But we want to know how we cook the chicken broth.
So actually, to get the chicken broth, we use the whole chicken, right? And I think what we do as well, which is quite I would say secret to our chef lab, is that we concentrate the chicken. Because for example, in Chinese cuisine, you have double chicken stock. So we're using the same concept as this, which means you're cooking the whole chicken with the first boiling, and then we boil a second time to reduce and concentrate the flavor more. Of course, at the end, we add the ginger and the garnish to serve it and to make that you also have a garnish inside. But the ginger is only infused at the end to give the ginger flavors. But I think the concentration of the stock, that's why we call it the chicken concentrated, is because we reduced. You have to just understand that it's 50 liter when we start the cooking, and it becomes a 5 liter, which is condensed 10 times. And that makes the flavors of our chef lab in this chicken concentrate unique. Because basically, as you can see, it looks quite smooth, but has quite a lot of chicken flavors.
嗱，我chef 咧成日都話呢一個係我哋 chef 嘅秘密嚟嘅，咁其實佢都唔係好講俾我聽嘅。咁就我哋每一次煲咧就係成隻雞嘅雞都擺落去嘅。Recently we put the French chicken inside.
Yes, correct.
最近咧我哋就加埋呢一個法國嚟嘅雞嘅雞殼，咁佢個雞味咧係特別濃厚嘅。佢話類似咧好似中國式嘅煮法咧，就係我哋叫 double boil 啦，其實就要煮兩次嘅。第一次去煮啦，然之後第二次咧就再煮嘅時候咧，就可能有啲唔同嘅溫度啊嗰啲啦，我唔知佢啦，佢係唔講俾我聽。咁但係咧就係第二次咧就係令到佢更加 concentrate， 更加啲味咧就再入翻去嘅。咁用一個 double boil 嘅方法啦，然之後就即係每一次咧我哋做50 lit 嘅水啊，只可以出到5 lit 嘅雞湯嚟嘅啫。咁所以咧係用好多嘅時間同埋好多嘅雞咧去做一個濃縮嘅雞湯，所以我直情覺得呢個雞湯係補身嘅，直情係你攞呢個雞湯去做底去煲你其他湯咧，都係非常之值得，因為你唔使由雞開始啊嘛，即係你唔使由雞開始去搞嗰個 broth。
So the next one would be actually another broth.
The pair.
The beef.
His partner.
Yes, his partner. So I think for me, in France, we love to have a chicken broth and also actually a beef broth. So that's why the difference between the chicken broth and the beef broth, out of their own flavor, is that I really want to keep the beef broth clear, which means no garnish. It's really the beef broth, as you can see here. So of course, there's a lot of ingredients inside where we cook for hours and hours to reduce it and to make it tasty like this. But I think for me, beef broth is just nice to have a clean, like a beef broth tea, right? It's almost like a tea.
This is the first time when you come to Hong Kong, you learn this is we call it tea.
Yes, exactly. Tea.
Which you call consommé.
Exactly, consommé. Exactly.
Consommé.
Yeah. So that's right. Yeah. OK。
係咁啊，同雞湯咧一 pair 嘅咧就係牛肉茶啦。咁啊 ，Chef 係第一次，即係喺香港佢先至聽到我哋叫佢做 beef tea 牛肉茶。牛肉茶其實咧就係佢哋講嘅 consommé， 即係話佢哋叫牛肉清湯啊。咁但係呢個清湯咧，其實都係好濃縮咁樣咧，就係煲好多個鐘頭去走出嚟嘅。咁當然都仲有一啲方法去令到佢變得咁清啦。咁所以咧呢一個雞湯同埋呢個牛肉茶咧，都係佢哋孖寶嚟嘅。咁大家真係可以補身用啊！呢一個牛肉茶。
So for me, it looks very clear and very simple. Yes, exactly. But I think there's a lot of flavors and there's a lot of ingredients. That's why I think for me it takes a lot of time. But I'm very happy because the result is quite clear and it's very tasty, which I really like.
咁佢每一次佢嘅目測咧，都要睇下佢有幾清啦，同埋個顏色嘅。咁呢一個咧就係我哋嘅牛肉茶啦。咁啊，大家真係絕對可以，我覺得直情可以取代朝早嗰杯咖啡，係好提神嘅。咁呢個牛肉茶可以俾大家試下。俾個杯我想飲咗呢個，俾個紙杯我，紙杯，唔該。I'm not going to let it go.
Yes.
I love it.
Okay.
唔該晒。
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So the next one will be actually, it's more like a plain dish, which is actually a fegola pasta. So as you know, for quite some time now, I'm a big fan of fegola. So fegola is actually, as you can see here, small little pasta, which looks like tiny little balls, which come from Sardinia. And actually, I like to use it as a risotto texture. So this one we're gonna reheat is with bell pepper. So it's quite.
Do you know because of you, many chefs in Hong Kong are
yes.
actually using this one?
Yeah. So yes, but I have to say that the first one who was using this is Mr. Aubuchon, and that's why actually I also love to use him. And it's true now that many people are using it.
嗱，當然啦，我哋嘅餸包咧，其實用最簡單嘅方法咧，你就係擺喺一個熱水嗰度煲就得㗎啦，大概20分鐘。咁但係咧 ，chef 咧佢想即係 present 得好啲啦，咁佢哋咧係永遠咧都係臨上碟之前咧，佢會再將佢 heat 一次嘅。咁頭先咧我哋講呢一個咧，我哋呢一個 dish 咧就係新嘅喎。咁呢一個咧就叫意大利青醬紅椒珍珠麵。咁即係我哋有用一個意大利青醬，is it pesto or basil? How do you put?
This one is bell pepper.
Bell pepper and what
Yes.
sauce we use? 我哋係用咩？意大利青醬係即係咩？英文？哦，
我哋係都係pesto 咧係綠色㗎嘛。我哋加咗啲sunshine tomato 同埋啲 red pepper，所以叫做 red pepper pesto。OK。
It's bell pepper pesto.
Bell pepper pesto。
Is that yeah, exactly. Is that bell pepper?
咁啊 pesto 就係嗰啲青醬啦，咁但係咧有一種叫 bell pepper pesto 咧，就係可以即係同芝士撈埋一齊係咪啊？同埋少少芝士。
嗰個底嚟，但係我另外加啲 pepper。
OK。咁我哋咧就係即係有啲 sunshine tomato 啦、pepper 啦、bell pepper 啦、芝士啦，咁樣就係即係做青醬啦，咁就做咗個汁。咁其實咧你唔係好覺嘅，因為咧係好少嘅，即係一個連係咁樣嘅，咁啊俾個味道。咁而呢個咧係我哋一個素菜嘅選擇。咁其實咧阿 Chef Olivier 咧話，即係呢一隻嘅Fragola 嘅一個意大利粉咧喺Sardinia 喺 Sardinia 嚟嘅，咁咧就要訂翻嚟嘅。咁咧就我見到咧，自從佢用之後咧，就好多香港嘅米芝蓮廚師咧都用呢一隻叫 Fragola 嘅呢一個 pasta 啦。但係阿 Chef 咧就話其實第一個用咧就係 Mr. Aubuchon， 咁啊 Mr. Aubuchon 咧就好中意呢一個 pasta， 佢亦都好中意咧佢嗰個圓潤嗰個質地啊，咁就好似對佢嚟講咧好似risotto 咁樣。
So this for me, it's actually a very simple vegetarian dish that makes you quite full. If you don't have too much time, or if you want to, if you're vegetarian, or actually if you like vegetables, I think what I like is it makes you quite full because it's nice pasta cooked with the bell pepper, so it's quite healthy, and I like it because it's very convenient. As you can see, I just take the pack. Actually, you can eat it right away from the pack, but I just put it in the pan. I add a little bit of salt because I like it a little bit more salty, but again, it's very personal, and you can add a little bit Tabasco if you want, but that's only if you want. But I think it's quite yummy. You have a nice bell pepper flavors. The texture of the pasta are quite soft, so it's an easygoing dish, vegetarian, and I would say it's nice comfort food.
We use it in a lot of variety in our dishes.
Yep.
So the fragola we go with 雞肉啦，有雞肉嘅 fragola 啦，有亞枝竹嘅 fragola 啦，咁而且咧仲有呢一個新嘅 bell pepper 嘅 fragola，咁就係一個素菜嘅選擇嚟嘅，因為即係 vegetarian is now very popular.
Yep.
咁啊，好多人都需要素菜啊，咁所以咧呢一個咧都係即係大家會可以研究下。咁啊 ，chef 話佢嘅好處咧就係其實。嗰個份量咧唔少㗎，其實你食咗咧你會飽㗎。咁如果你真係想要好簡單，喂我真係快快脆脆食完又飽又好味咧，咁就絕對可以考慮呢個 fragola 嘅，無論係 pepper 啊、chicken 啊都係非常之好嘅。咩嚟㗎
Okay, pot au feu.
哦 ，OK， 喂呢個咧我哋未介紹過。
So this one is this one I'm quite proud of it because you know everyone in France loves pot au feu.
Okay.
So pot au feu.
We start learning the pronunciation first.
Pot au feu.
Pot au feu.
Yes.
Pot au feu.
Pot means pot. So pot in French we say pot.
即係 pot 啦，我哋開 pot 個 pot。
Eau it's two and feu it's fire.
Fire. Oh.
So it's pot on the fire. If you translate.
On the fire.
Exactly.
Pot to fire.
So actually, if you really go back for the history, this is really like a century dish in France. You know, when people after a while had not too much money, they love to eat this on Sunday. Where at that time, you know, only the men can eat actually the meat. So they throw a piece of bone and a lot of vegetables, potato, and actually they cook it for hours and hours, and then the family eat it on Sunday. But of course, when we start to have more meat and everyone can more afford it, so then they start to add beautiful piece of beef actually.
I see.
And now it becomes like a beautiful selection of different beefs, veal, and also the vegetables with the both. So this is a full dish where you have different type of meats with vegetables and a beef loaf.
哇！呢一個要講喎，我第一次聽喎。咁咧嗱 pot au feu 咧就即係牛肉火鍋。哇！咁我哋想象下牛肉火鍋會係點咧？咁我哋可以擺晒佢落一個包嗰度喎。咁當然咧，佢就係一個好靚嘅牛肉湯底啦。咁以前咧喺法國咧，當大家唔係好多錢嘅時候咧。就星期日一家人先至可以食一次呢一個 pot au feu 嘅，咁就但係因為淨係男仔想食牛嘅啫，所以咧其實咧就揾條繩吊住一嚿牛有牛骨嘅，就大嚿嘅，就吊住落去煮，但係咧就加好多菜，嗰啲菜咧就女仔食嘅，男仔咧就可以食牛肉啦咁就係即係一個法國家庭嘅一個記憶嚟嘅，個即係Sunday你星期日咧就會食呢一個 pot au feu 噶啦。咁個重點咧就係而家啦，咁當然就大家都可以食得起啦。咁於是咧就加咗好多好精緻嘅牛肉落去，咁就成為一個咧而家嘅 pot au feu咧就係直情係我哋理解做牛肉火鍋就得㗎啦。咁啊法國人嘅牛肉火鍋啦，好似清湯腩咁嘅。你 look like 清湯腩？你 know 清湯腩？唔知。牛腩喎。啊，
鵝腩 yes OK。鵝腩飯啊 ，I like 鵝腩飯啊。
唔係鵝腩飯啊。
Yes。
牛腩粉。
Yeah， 鵝腩飯啊。
唔係鵝腩飯。
Okay, the beef with the rice. Okay.
Hi, Olam Fan.
Okay, Olam Fan.
Olam Fan.
Actually, if you think about it, it's pretty much just. Actually, it's not exactly the same cooking that the Olam Fan, Malam Fan, but yes, but the pronunciation is Malam Fan. But anyway, so as you can see, you have the beef which is cooked actually stew in the broth. Then you have the vegetables. So of course, the beef normally in the Chinese way will be braised, when this is more poached. So that's why I will say the beef looks the same, even though it's poached actually.
Okay.
But as you can see, you have turnip, carrots, you have actually potato, and it's quite a complete dish with nice meats, and it's quite filling as well, which I like.
佢話中式咧就係 braise 啦，即係燜啦。咁呢一個咧就係 poach， 即係 poach 係咩啊？煲啊
？boil yes boil yes。
烚啊慢煮啊咁樣啦。咁咧就我哋咧就加咗薯仔啦、白蘿蔔啦同埋紅蘿蔔落去嘅，所以咧係一個好 complete 嘅有肉有菜嘅一個 dish 啦。咁嗱，我哋咧牛肉火鍋咧好靚嘅，佢真係佢就咁倒出嚟嘅啫喎，真係倒出嚟。咁啊有六嚿牛到啦，喂，有6嚿牛到啦咁，喂。
So we like to eat the broth with the vegetables and the meat together.
係啦，咁就嗱，其實咧。We Chinese, when we eat hot pot, which you hate,
yes,
is
I love hot pot.
Very, very hot, right?
Yes.
But 但係咧，in the French way,
Yes.
You do not suggest like 100 degrees.
Yeah,
or
I mean,
you can cook it.
what we do is when it's coming on the table, of course, for the family, it's coming smoking hot,
Yeah.
but then it cools down very fast.
Yes.
So I will say we eat it at 60 degrees or something like this.
係
Yes.
即係咧，佢話咧，其實我哋呢啲法式嘅牛肉火鍋啦，或者我哋之後見到嘅雞火鍋啦，其實咧都唔需要100度咁樣不停咁樣 heat 住佢嚟食嘅。其實咧，你上台嘅時候咧，當然係就咁喺個煲度攞出嚟，就係熱到出煙啦。咁但係咧，你一路 keep 住佢咧，其實咧 keep 到佢食到40-50度、60度咧，都係仲係好好味，即係唔係食熱辣辣嘅火鍋。所以你夏天咧都可以絕對可以食我哋呢個 pot au feu 啦。咁咯，咁。Have you tried this one?
Yeah, of course I try.
Okay.
Of course.
我哋嘅雪菜 this is one of the top seller too.
Yes, no
You know,
surprise.
all my favorites are the top seller
Yes.
because I sell them more.
That's right. Push the other one. What? Push the
I
other
don't
one.
push
Push the
your
other one.
favorites.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. 咁啊我呢一個雪菜火腩米粉啦，咁要多謝 Aaron 嘅 ，Aaron 好中意燒火腩㗎，唔知點解。佢對住啲腩咧好開心。係啊。咁啊，Aaron 咧就親自燒個火腩嘅，咁然之後咧我哋就做落雪菜啦，咁同埋就係一個米粉啦，咁就我就頭先話俾 Chef 聽，我話呢一個係我哋即係 one of 我哋嘅 top seller，因為所有我中意食嘅嘢都係 top seller，因為我係咁 sell 啊嘛，其他嗰啲嘢我就唔 sell 啦，咁其他啲嘢都 sell，佢中意嗰啲我就遲啲 sell 咁啦。咁啊 ，Chef 咧頭先熱咗個米粉之後咧，米粉咧就通常我諗25分鐘到咧，因為佢比較厚身啊。你想食熱辣辣嘅米粉就要25分鐘啦。
So this one I'm very proud to say that we did a collaboration with Aaron, our chef. So as you know, I'm more specialized in Western cooking than Asian cooking. But of course, I like to learn and I like to eat myself Asian cooking too. So actually here we have the pork belly, where we do those rice noodle with some preserve. Yeah, exactly. So Aaron actually salt it and make it in the traditional way, and then we use some preserved vegetables. Where actually, for me, I like to eat this dish because you have a little bit of vegetables, a little bit of carbs, and of course the pork that everyone likes.
I want you to try this one. You really have to try.
Yes, no joy. I tried many times. But
Did you?
Yes, I like to steal this just by itself.
Steal 啊？
Yeah.
哦，佢話佢試過好多次，因為佢入親嚟廚房都偷食呢一個火腩。咁啊，呢一個咧就我哋嘅雪菜火腩米粉啦。咁除咗呢一個 size 咧，我哋有個大啲嘅 size 嘅。咁就睇下你食量多唔多啦。咁呢一個咧就係雪菜火腩米粉。咁頭先 chef 咧就攞咗佢出嚟咧，就再煮一次嘅。咁我就 highly 唔 recommend 大家咁做嘅。其實咧，你咧熱咗佢之後咧，你倒出嚟得啦。頭先咧 chef 係將啲米粉咧剷到碎晒，千祈唔好咁樣做，鬼佬係咁。唔好，我哋倒出嚟係好靚嘅。我哋特登揀咗一隻新加坡嘅米粉咧係唔斷嘅，俾佢咁樣剷一剷之後咧斷晒。I'm talking behind you.
I'm sure I can hear my ear singing. So here we have another Chinese.
麻婆豆腐。
Yeah.
Do you know 麻婆豆腐？
唔知。
係啊，
係啊，豆瓣醬啊，
豆瓣醬啊，
豆瓣醬豆腐啊。
係啊，唔知。
The grandmother tofu. I like 豆瓣醬 is one of my favorites. So I like 豆瓣醬 with everything.
其實阿 Chef 咧有諗過咧研究一個豆瓣醬咧，好似一個牙膏裝咁咧，佢揸住出街擠嘅。
I'm the only one who eat.
Your toothpaste 豆瓣醬。
Even with the bun, how you call the bun?
咩 bun 啊？
You know the dim sum bun I eat with 豆瓣醬。
哦，
the pineapple
叉
bun.
燒包佢都點豆瓣醬啊！變態。
唔好意思啊，唔好意思。
雪山叉燒包都點豆瓣醬。
怪佬 style。
佢好中意豆瓣醬。
So for this one, actually, so we have the tofu with the 豆瓣醬, the pork, and actually we make it quite classic. I think Aaron can talk more about that than me, but I like the texture of the tofu, which is cut not too big, not too small.
This is a dried bean curd, from Japan.
Yes.
We call it 高野豆腐。
Yeah. So I like the texture because for me it could almost look like actually a rice or like a risotto. It's quite smooth in terms of texture, and I like the smokiness of the 豆瓣醬。
係啦，嗱咁咧，我哋即係嗰個辣嘅底咧，當然係我哋研究過啦。咁咧有豆瓣醬喺裏面啦，就係 chef 最中意嘅味道啦。咁而我哋個牛有豬肉碎啦，同埋咧就有豆腐嘅。咁呢個豆腐咧就係高野豆腐。佢嘅好處咧就係其實我哋將佢擺咗落去餸包度，就算你再煮咧，佢唔會出水嘅，而且咧佢會將嗰個肉汁咧就吸 收得好好。咁所以咧，你想象下，你煮一碗飯，煮一碟飯，然之後咧淋呢一個麻婆豆腐落去咧，就係一個你非常之簡單嘅做法同埋選擇啦。咁同埋咧，我哋係模仿咗比較日式嘅豆腐麻婆豆腐嘅，就係嗰啲豆腐咧切得比較細粒啲嘅，令到你每一口咧其實都係豆腐啦、肉啦同埋個醬咧係好平均嘅，好精緻嘅，每一粒度住嚟切嘅我哋個豆腐。We cut the 豆腐 very small。哇 ！Here comes our breast chicken。
Yes。
哇！嗰個頭先我哋講嗰個嗰個叫咩雞話？嗰個 breast chicken 叫咩？布雷斯雞係啦，個 breast chicken 布雷斯雞咁咧就入咗去焗爐半個鐘啦。哇！好肥美啊喂！
So 好靚啊，好靚啊！ So the chicken, okay, the secrets here will be that actually you can give this one. You can use it.
好靚嘅雞。
So what we're gonna do here, it's in France we always have an argument about the breast and the chicken and the legs, because for example, if you cook a chicken, technically the legs should be undercooked if the breast is cooked. So I think here, as you can see, I put it for half hour, and that's why I told you that we should put it for half hour. Because actually the idea, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take out the legs and the breasts, and I'm gonna keep going to cook the legs actually. So the idea will be that the breast is perfectly cooked, and the leg will have some extra cooking, but separate.
OK。
Yes.
哇！嗱，呢個chef 咧就話咧，呢個布雷斯雞咧，即係法國嘅國寶雞啦嚇。咁佢就我哋頭先就70度煮咗30分鐘。 咁佢就話咧喺法國咧，佢哋成日有個 argument 咧，就係 between 啲 chef 咧，就係話如果你要你鋪出隻雞，你要個雞髀係熟，個雞胸咧就會老噶啦。咁所以咧，佢咧就會將雞胸同埋雞髀分開處理。咁而家咧，我哋見到佢咧就喺度切緊個雞髀。
It's still a little bit red. It's almost done. Yeah, almost there. So it could be almost done, but I like to cook it a little bit more. So that's why I want the legs to be a bit softer. 即係咧，佢覺得咧，而家呢個時候咧，個雞胸咧就係應該啱啱好嘅。咁於是咧，個雞髀咧，佢就要浸耐啲喎。所以佢咧就會喺呢個過程裏邊咧，切一切個雞。咁啊，我哋切雞又好冇儀態嘅。咁啊，chef 咧都係好冇儀態。我企過少少先。 Oh wait, I will not kill you.
Okay.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yes. Maybe later.
Later.
Yes.
好，咁佢雞髀咧，佢而家再處理下。 咁啊嗱，大家咧見到咧嗰隻雞咧咁鬼齊整咁靚咧，其實咧我哋係幫你綁過隻雞嘅。其實綁雞咧，你唔識綁嘅，即係我哋見到 chef 去綁啲雞咧，係覺得佢哋好犀利嘅，係好有技巧。咁佢裏邊咧有條繩㗎，你記住掹翻條繩出嚟，即係你會見到嘅一路切。
So I put those one back because you have a nice flavors for the both.
咁嗰個繼續喺個煲嗰度浸緊啦。 咁而家佢就攞咗啲繩出嚟啦，咁就切雞啦。我哋切雞就攞個菜刀係咁斬噶嘛。咁啊 chef 切雞咧就用一個叉，用一支刀。咁佢當然係好熟悉嗰啲雞嘅位置啦嚇。
So of course the day we're gonna do the recipe for you, everything will be ready to eat. Of course, this today is just to show you a little bit how do we work with the chicken breast. Because of course, as the photo food takes a lot of preparation. We will prepare for you everything ready in the back.
嗱，頭先我哋咪講過嗰個牛肉鍋咧，讀 pot de feu，pot de feu 咧就係講火鍋。咁咧我哋有牛肉嘅火鍋同埋有雞嘅火鍋嘅。其實我哋係有得賣嘅，而我從來都未 sell 過嘅。
So you can see here, we have beautiful cooking.
係。咁嗱，呢個 pot de feu咧，我哋有雞嘅火鍋嚇。咁而家 chef 咧就會即係直情係由頭做俾大家睇。 咁當然冇做嘅部分就係嗰個雞個湯啦，嗰個湯係用咗10幾個鐘頭搞嘅。
So you can see here, beautiful cooking, nice fat from the chicken.
Wait.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can see here the chicken is the breast is perfect, just nicely cooked. It's a very nice white meat, and not overcooked, and that's why I like to separate with the other one.
好柔軟啊！見到嗰隻雞。 我做啲核突嘢先，我將佢揈下先。呢個雞咧，嗱 chef 好注重佢嗰個 just cook 嗰個感覺咧，就係咁啦。成隻雞咧係好柔軟嘅，我冇理過叉，係啊，成隻雞好柔軟嘅。你見到咧，佢完全係唔會韌啦，而且佢真係切得好靚咯。咁而家我哋就淨係個雞胸咧係 ready 嘅，跟住我哋就要再煮個雞湯啦。哇！其實佢係將嗰啲紅色嗰啲骨嘅邊咧都開埋出嚟嘅。你睇下佢整完之後係幾企理，我哋一台
You see heart shape? We call this heart shape.
OK.
Chicken heart shape.
哇！
Yes.
心形胸啊
Yes.
Heart breast.
Heart breast, yeah.
心形胸啊！佢話我擺低俾你哋。係。咁啊 ，How long more we have to handle the?
I think the legs are cooked already, so actually we can cut them. I will show you, and we're gonna pour on the top actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
咁其實個雞髀咧就應該處理得耐少少嘅，但係佢而家睇咗呢隻雞咧，佢覺得呢隻雞髀 OK 喎。因為我哋又處理咗半個鐘度啦，而家再浸多5至10分鐘，咁佢攞出嚟啦。You have to show. Can you introduce to us this one?
Yeah. So since it's a very popular chicken, basically what they do is each chicken has its own number, and as you can see here, this one shows you that it's coming from there. It's coming. They give you a tag where actually from which farm come the chicken. So each chicken has his own number and his own tag.
每一隻雞有佢自己一個好似戒指咁樣一個 tag 嘅。咁我哋見到咧，其實呢布雷斯雞咧就係即係佢個特色就係佢個雞味就好濃厚啦。咁就同我哋食開本地雞會有啲唔同嘅，因為佢個雞味係好濃厚。咁咧因為佢係一隻 organic 嘅雞嚟嘅，即係佢係真係周圍去跑動啊 free range 啊咁樣啦。咁所以咧我哋會見到佢咧嗰啲毛孔咧係會粗啲㗎，比起其他嘅雞。咁你真係會見翻佢啲毛孔啦，同埋可能有時你會見到有少少毛都唔定嘅。咁呢個咧就係未煮之前咧個藍色嘅腳啦，真係藍藍地色嘅喎，帶藍色嘅。咁啊，你睇整完之後個砧板都係好企理嘅。繼續飲我嘅牛肉茶先。個牛肉茶真係好好味，好濃好濃。咁有啲人咧就會覺得係鹹啦，咁但係其實呢個鹹字咧，其實就係原因係佢係好濃咯，好濃縮啊。所以如果你真係覺得佢太濃縮咧，你其實可以加翻啲水，咁你就可以冇咁濃縮噶啦。但係就梗係唔好啦。其實我而家就算我頭先咁樣飲咗，我係完全冇口渴嘅感覺嘅，即係嗰啲唔係鹹味嚟。
There you go.
鹹味。
So now we pour the stock on top, and this is how you can eat actually the chicken.
好，呢個就係我哋嘅雞嘅 portofeu 啦。咁又要個鏡頭要移一移啦。
So again, as I mentioned, it's a firm chicken. Yeah, it's a firm chicken. So basically, I really recommend you when you cut the chicken to take the both together. So this is where, for me, the breast chicken is always the best. Because you have to understand, it's a chicken which is free range, has a lot of muscle, so it's a very lean chicken, which is a bit firm, and that's why when you eat it with the soup, it's much more smoother. You will see the legs are very strong because the hand has a lot of muscle. Yes.
因為即係隻雞咧係會周圍跑嚟跑去啦，所以其實你見到佢嗰啲雞髀啊、腳啊嗰啲好長嘅，咁佢就係因為佢有好多 muscles 嘅。咁呢一個咧就係我哋嘅 portofeu 啦，就係我哋都有呢一個菜式嘅，但係其實唔係咁簡單嘅。我哋係仲有好多薯仔啦、甘筍啦，跟住呢一個portofeu 嘅雞嘅。咁就牛嗰個 portofeu 咧就係賣好似190幾蚊嘅。咁呢一個雞嘅 portofeu 咧，由於佢係 whole chicken， 仲係呢一個 breast chicken 啦，咁係賣1800幾蚊咁樣。係啊，咁就但係都係非常之值得食嘅。
I hope you enjoyed today. So thank you very much. I'm gonna go.
多謝你。
Thank you. Thank you. I hope you appreciate. Any question, let me know. I can always be reachable, or you ask for Chef Lam.
How to let you know?
Send me a WhatsApp.
OK， 好啦。
Thank you.
OK，thank you。咁多謝 Chef 啦。
下次見，拜拜。
下次見，拜拜。Thank you。啊係喎。 Thank you， 拜拜，唔該。咁啊，唔該晒 Chef。咁我哋就係啦，今日我哋用咗幾多時間啊？我裝下先。我哋用咗1個鐘頭09分鐘。大家知唔知我哋頭先做咗幾多個 dish 出嚟啊？總共做咗12個 dish 出嚟。即係話其實如果你真係要去處理一個家庭菜嚇，咁其實你個零鐘就搞掂㗎咯喎。係啊。咁Aaron 你過嚟傾兩句啊。今日 Aaron 咧就協助阿 Chef 啦，其實即係台面咁多嘢咧，切到咁靚，擺到咁靚咧，全部都係 Aaron，所以都多謝 Aaron 啦。其實嗰個雞湯同埋嗰個牛肉茶咧，係咪要熬好耐㗎？即係我哋自己做。係啊。
如果我哋自己做咧，要買首先你要買全隻雞啦，去慢火煲佢，係令到裏面啲骨髓啊同埋啲骨咧都融化咗喺個湯嗰度咧。係大概我哋要需要12至18個鐘頭嚟整個湯嘅，個湯底係啦，個湯底係啦。然後咧就先至會將佢攞嚟煮嘢啊，同埋要隔乾淨嗰啲嗰啲我哋嗰啲血水同埋嗰啲血水咧就會令到個雞湯會變臭噶嘛。係，所以我哋仲要隔清埋佢咯。所以我哋嗰啲湯咁清香咯，即係倒出嚟嘅時候係其實完全係即係嗰個分別咧，即係可能同大家即係處理得冇咁好嘅分別咧，就係呢一啲嘅好細微嘅地方啦。咁呢啲亦都係 chef 咧好緊張嘅嘢嚟。係啊，因為大火滾佢咧，佢啲雞油嗰啲咧會落咗去嗰啲湯嗰度咧，就會有種油膩味啊！我哋叫做。係。但係我哋只要慢火煮咧，就將佢好啲湯咧，即係好滲晒精華落去咯。係。而家咧喺出邊阿 Chef 又話走啦，又話趕啦，咁啊喺度做明星㗎啦嘛，係啦，影相啦。咁啊雞湯都要12個鐘。係啊。咁牛肉湯咧？牛肉湯更加要耐，因為牛肉湯你都知道啲骨咧比較大嚿啲㗎嘛。我哋會大概要20個鐘頭。先將佢裏邊嗰啲精髓、嗰啲精華嗰啲嘢咧，就拎咗出去落嗰個煲湯度咯。係啊，冇錯啦。咁所以咧就係即係我哋個雞湯同埋我哋嘅牛肉茶咧，都係我哋真係擺咗好多心機落去。咁而且咧，亦都特登咧個售價咧係會賣得平啲嘅。咁喺 HKTVmall 即係聽日啦、星期2啦，大家入到嚟我哋 Old Chef Lab 裏邊咧，就會見到我哋將個牛肉茶咧就特價由65蚊變咗做50蚊啦。咁聽日咧，今晚啊，其實今晚12點、11點零12點咧，你就可以入嚟我哋嗰度尋寶噶啦。咁就係啊，係喺 HKTVmall 嗰度揾到我哋啲嘢。好抵買。係啊，咁我哋就另外啦，我哋頭先就有2個鍋啦，即係有一個牛肉鍋，有個雞鍋啦。咁咧就我哋一路咧，即係其實之前咧，我哋一路個諗法咧就係、其實由個食物去到個鍋咧都精益求精嘅。咁啊頭先我哋見到 chef 咧係直情將個煲咧擺埋落去個焗爐嗰度咧。咁呢一啲嘅煲咧，入到焗爐嘅煲咧，我哋都有選擇嘅。咁有一個咧就會係細個啲啦，顏色即係顏色靚啲啦，就輕啲嘅。咁就係叫 Dense， 就係泰國製造嘅。另外一款咧，呢個係犀利啊！呢個係拜拜，you come back，come to show your chef come to show your another styling，yeah，let people see you。我哋要睇下 chef 佢平時係咁樣嘅。
Chef to go faster using actually a motorcycle。
using motorcycle 係啦，好啦，拜拜啦，多謝。咁個 chef 就電單車人嚟嘅。咁佢另外一個造型啊，熱佢唔死㗎嚇，係啊，熱佢唔死。佢夠快㗎嘛。係啊。OK， 咁咧另外一個煲咧就係呢個咧煲咧叫柳宗理啊。咁咧我哋之前咧就入過一次翻嚟，非常之受歡迎。咁佢就係非常之重嘅一個生鐵煲嚟嘅，但係咧佢嘅傳熱咧係非常之好啦。無論你用咩都得㗎，用焗爐又得，用水用電又得，係啦，用火又得。咁咧大家亦都可以向我哋查詢呢個柳宗理煲同埋呢個 Dense 煲，咁咧就可以適合你哋可以做到頭先阿 chef 做嗰樣嘢㗎啦。pot de four 啊嗰啲都得嘅，係啊，隻雞啊都可以擺落去。其實，所以我哋慢慢咧，即係唔單止係就咁係食物包啦，即係譬如一啲調味料啦，或者係甚至乎啲啲難買啲嘅 products 啊，或者係一啲嘅器材咧，咁我哋都會有提供嘅。咁你哋有咩諗到咧，亦都歡迎去問我哋嘅喎。係啊，咁我哋就即係喺我哋嘅 website 度同我哋聯絡啦。咁我哋就會盡量安排關於飲食嘅嘢俾大家噶啦。冇錯。咁啊，多謝晒 Aaron 啦，唔該晒你今日，拜拜。拜拜。
你係縮翻細佢先，去個角落頭嗰度，等佢嗰啲係啦，然之後就 end podcast。